This is the Slam Jam Championship Wrestling Show. Let's hit the intro.
We're locked in the cage, it's the Slam Jam Show. We're dynamite, you better feel alive. We're better than you, and you know it. Yeah. If you don't like it, we got two words for you. Slam Jam, feel the power, feel the roar. Slam Jam, it's the smackdown you've been waiting for. You can't see us, Chico, you'll be serving hot shot. Ooh, yeah. Slam Jam, and that's the bottom line. Slam Jam, now it's a Slam Jam wrestling show. We're like the good, it's the big show. You got no chance when you're real forget. That's the risk, that's the worst. If you smell what we're cooking, it's a Slam Jam wrestling show. The champions here. Snap into a Slam Jam. The Slam Jam show. Yeah, yo. Yeah. It's the Slam Jam show. Oh, you didn't know. It's the Slam Jam show. Real blast. One big ass. It's the Slam Jam at one. Show 'em you. Yeah.
Okay, welcome to Slam Jam. Now, on the show tonight, we'll be getting into everything following the fallout from War Games. Raw has been this week. We are edging closer to the end of John Cena's in-ring career, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other things. But let's say hello to everyone on the show tonight, starting with Ian. Say hello to the people.
Hello to the people and happy International Cheetah Day.
What? International
Is that-
Cheetah Day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wives, lock up your husbands because right. Or we could go with who's the greatest cheater in wrestling? Eddie Guerrero, Ric Flair, one of the two. Okay, Dave, say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone. I'm back with better Wi-Fi this week at last. And yeah, I've got to say, when you said, did think you meant cheetah as in the animal. So I was hoping it was going to go that direction, but.
Well,
Yes,
okay.
indeed.
Well, it could go in the wrestling direction. So you know, it could just be lie, cheat, and steal day. Now, speaking of lying, cheating, and stealing, Dominic Mysterio is the Intercontinental Champion once again. Liv Morgan returned in a slightly weird moment, like aligning with John Cena, who ran with it for some reason. Only to then, yeah. Okay, that was a weird, because people have pointed out that recreated Cena's heel turn against Cody. And it's like, okay, it was the last chance to do something relating to that, but it felt like a weird connection there with Liv Morgan involved.
It was Amdram at its best there, I felt. It was like, let's do this thing where we've established something this year, which is the Cena heel turn, which is the look to the audience beforehand. Let's just do it in this really weird way of it was almost like recreating the AJ hug as well, wasn't it? So it did sort of kill two birds with one stone there. They can obviously do that with AJ, because I think they probably wouldn't want to do that with AJ Lee, by the that not
yeah,
Charles.
sure.
And
I had the weirdest mental image then, Dave.
yeah, it was that was the first bit of Star Wars I saw, was just like doing the weird like eye thing, psychopath eyes. I was like, okay, this is going a bit weird, but
It was certainly weird. It was the best bit of Survivor Series by a million miles. Was that match?
It made noise. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that match. Not the interesting thing about it, not that Dom isn't a star, because he's a star, but it was kind of star making as well. Like, you know, he just had a victory over John Cena, and you know, he's the Intercontinental Champion with his other belt as well. So I'd be pushing in the next year. I'd be getting him going for the world title at least once.
I think it pushes his and Liv's relationship as well back to the prominence, because it's only because of Liv that he ever beat his dad. So now he's got Rey Mysterio that he's beaten thanks to Liv, and now John Cena, both of which he's only beaten because of his girlfriend's help. So
Yeah,
I think that's an interesting wrinkle
yeah.
to the story. She was always going to get a big face pop when her music hit. So I think they kind of did the best they could, given how weird that was always going to be. I think I'd rather have saved her pop for the Rumble, but that's just me, I think.
It will be interesting on that front, just to see what their plans are for her. Because again, if you have someone returning the Rumble, if you're not planning for them to win it, it's just like it might take the steam out of whoever then does win it.
Right, and I think the rumor doing the rounds is because the Rumble is in Saudi, they may be planning to not do the whole surprises thing because you can't sneak the surprise entrance onto a long haul flight across the world. But I wish they'd figure it out, because for them to say at this stage, yeah, no surprises in the Rumble, guys, it's kind of like,
okay, can you not, or is that not easier? Because it's like, who's the fans out there? It's only going to be the Saudi fans. Okay,
right.
and also like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to make this like a cultural commentary type of thing, but any of the women going out there could just dress very conservatively and be very hidden and completely blend in.
I think like wrestling journalists, and I use those quote marks very heavily, I think they wouldn't be above like scouring flight lists and finding their sources that way. I think is where the issue lies, is actually getting them to Saudi without that sort of spoiler leaking. But there must surely be a way you could drive to
Saudi.
From somewhere else.
Drive to Saudi. That's
I'm not suggesting from the States, but you could fly like...
Yeah, I get you.
Conspicuously, yeah. But anyway.
Dave, for you, was Ian's sound cutting out ever so slightly?
No.
Okay, it might just be my audio. I'll tinker with things. So what else were instant reactions from anything from this weekend shows, Raw as well, I guess?
I think that just with Survivor Series in general, I think the fact that we're all sort of, the first thing we're talking about is Dominic versus Cena. The fact that was so, I don't know, it was layered with the same sort of level of Roman Cody main event of just multiple interference bits, constantly bringing the crowd up and down, up and down. Obviously, they were quite an equal amount of cheers for Dom as well, because sitting over in San Diego and everything. But there's so much, there was so many smoke and mirrors in that one to get that sort of pop, disguising the fact that Cena can't sell a 619 to save his fucking life. Yeah. And also, but also it was the highlight of a very bland Survivor Series, and I'm really, really wondering whether or not they just need to stop the War Games stuff for a bit. I know Triple H loves it, but it's the same formula every year, and the women's one didn't need to be a War Games match. Aside from Io and her love of bins in a War Games match, there was nothing really to rest anything on. There was it could have easily been a Survivor Series elimination match, that one, 5-on-5.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you could have said the same for the men's as well, to be fair, though, because once Seth's injury came along, it's like, okay, we'll just throw stars at it, and like
and the Man in Black.
Well,
yes,
okay.
And the Man in Black.
I was going to say, guys, so let me just see. I haven't got the screen share up, but I might have some breaking news on this. I wonder
who it could possibly be.
Well, okay,
for months.
Yeah, I think we all know who it is. So let's just take a look here, just because it's now confirmed. There we go.
Yeah, I'd love to see Vince try and move like that up the side of the cage.
And climbing up the cage with that agility.
Yeah.
I've seen some absolute nonsense on social media about people being so adamant. The one doing the rounds today actually was John Moxley, which is just like, people don't understand how contracts work. No. And they're like, no, trust me, guys. Trust me. That's the reason they didn't do the reveal, is because it's Moxley and he did it for his friend Seth Rollins. And just
it's okay. Well, look,
it's Austin Theory, and it's meh, which is why they didn't do the reveal on Survivor Series.
Well,
because if they'd done the reveal, it just
to give whoever these freaks are a little bit of credence there. We all do remember that WWE shot promos to tease the debut of Sting, when they hadn't got him signed under a contract, and then had to pivot to make it about the Undertaker. So there is tiny precedent for them. They could do some tease thing and then just later it turned out to be someone else, because when you think about like the the mystery Raw, like not announcer, what was it? GM and
general manager,
yeah, and stuff like this. They
Yeah.
and I'd love them to resolve the GTV storyline all these years later. You know, just with like a different plan. So it would
Well,
almost be
apparently-
fun if we never found out who was under the mask. Go on, Dave.
Well, apparently it was Gold Dust. That's who it was.
Well, yeah,
G-
yeah. Well, that's obvious, but
For GTV, you mean? You don't mean Under the Mask?
that would be a swerve. That would be a swerve. Okay, so here's something interesting. I'll show you this clip actually, just because it's literally popped up here. People are saying about so that amazing Styles clash on Raw, and I think this is actual AJ Styles, like responding to it here. So like someone said about, hey, you're just ripping off this AEW move, but it was a different move. That wasn't a Styles clash. That was a powerbomb. And he's saying in pro wrestling you can't claim moves. They may be your signature, but they are still open to the public. Any confident wrestler ever wouldn't change that. Calm down. And I think that's fair enough. Because one, it wasn't the same move. It was just the idea of bouncing someone off the ropes.
Right.
You know, so I think that's fair enough. It wasn't the same move. It wasn't like the same week. So it's just an innovative idea. And also in the case of AJ, like Cena, he's announced his retirement is imminent. So he's going to get in what he can whilst he's still doing it.
Yeah, I loved it. And I don't think it matters whether it's been seen before elsewhere. If it's the first time you've seen it, then your reaction is, holy shit, I've never seen that before, which was my personal reaction. Was like, that's incredible. I think I was on a high generally because I loved Raw this week. I thought it was like light years ahead of Survivor Series, which was the big thing they were promoting. And I thought Raw was excellent. And the tag match included, like, just absolutely brilliant.
Okay, here comes Dev. Hello,
getting
Dev.
War Games out of the way, you know.
What's it?
Hello.
Oh,
right.
There was two things about that I was going to say about the Star Splash spot. Is that one? Finally, I've been saying on the show recently, catching lightning in a bottle. A team of Dragon Lee and AJ Styles is a really good pairing, and they realised it and put the titles on and just went with it. That's like the same as AEW did with Brody King and Bandito. They just realised that was a catching lightning in a bottle. They got that. They did it with Charlotte and Alexa. Realised that was working. Let's just put the titles on them, roll with it. So it shows that sometimes you can actually just have these things and actually go with them, and they work. And in terms of AJ and Dragon Lee. But the other thing to say that there's a couple of people, I don't know who it is in Mexico does it, but I know there's a British wrestler over here called Leon Cage who does that move, what you saw with the Bucks, with the drop kick to the back of the head and catching a powerbomb. He does it on his own. He does the drop kick to the back and catches them into the powerbomb.
Wow, who's that? I'll see if I can look it up.
So we got the UK wrestler is called Leon Cage.
Leon Cage or Page?
Leon Cage, Leon, and Cage is Nicolas Cage and Brian Cage.
Okay. Now, so the one controversial thing I'll say there is I don't like the teaming of AJ Styles with Dragon Lee.
Fair enough.
Right. Just for the reason that AJ Styles has announced... Look, how many tag teams has AJ Styles been in now? And they're all just thrown together tag teams. I think this one isn't going to have any more meaning later on. With him announcing his, going to be retiring, I don't want him just bunged in a tag team for his last stint.
But that's my point, though. It's working, and it works for what they're going with, and it's better than just keeping it on Judgment Day or New Day for ages.
Well, and doing nothing with the tag team division in general. Like, that was why, I loved the fact that they put on one of the Brazilian backstage segments with Adam Pearce, who I'm so tired of seeing. But one of the things he did was book a tag match for next week. So it's okay, this isn't going to be one of those 1 week there's a title match and then we go 2 months without seeing the champions even, So I think that it gave me hope, if not expectation. It gave me hope that tag team wrestling might be getting a little bit of attention, which is long overdue.
Okay, very quickly, I have found this move. So Leon Cage, I'm guessing he's calling it Into the Future.
I guess so.
I think this is indie enough that I can get away without putting the shield over it. But,
Rick would be fine with it. Yeah, that'll be right.
Let's go for it. It looked. I saw a brief.
There you guys.
That's very cool.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, he makes it look completely effortless as well.
It helps that the guy taking the move has to be in there because you can see that I think that's Leland, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, Nino Bryant, I think is the opponent, and he's pushing himself off the ropes to get in that position. Of course, so there's another one that's dependent on the opponent, of course, but
Sure. Well,
yeah, things like that are.
Yeah.
In the case of Raw, it was Kofi being athletic enough to throw himself into that position as well. So it's certainly not a move they could do with everybody. That's for sure.
No.
You could.
I want to see him do on Bronson Reed. I want to see him do on Bronson Reed.
On Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Bronson could do it.
Okay, so
do it.
what does it actually take?
I'd to catch him, but I bet he
yeah, exactly. Into a styles clash. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Okay, so it was just Bronson Reed. Like I said a year ago about the tsunami spot, we were at War Games once again. I'm just glad that we didn't have any. There wasn't any major injuries out of this year
because there were no major spots really, apart from EO and the bin.
Well, yeah.
Isn't Punk injured? Isn't that what I read the other day?
Punk's always injured. Isn't that his thing nowadays?
I didn't.
Maybe that was the original story, and maybe he's just got taken time off obviously for Larry. So I don't know. But...
Yeah, I was genuinely very sad to read about that with his dog. I have a CM in the brief window in between CM Punk leaving AEW and joining WWE. There's I've got like a collection of like WWE style retros, and when I say a collection, very select few. But they did announce a CM Punk that came with, if you ordered it straight away, a Larry figure. So I actually do have a Larry figure. I'll have to show it on the show another time. So that was sad because also he's been, of all of the dogs in wrestling since perhaps Matilda or maybe Pepper along the way, Larry has been and of course Pharaoh, Cody's dog.
Pharaoh,
yeah. There's only a few wrestling dogs that have been prominent, but obviously Larry has made it into storylines and on television and into Brawl Out as well. So he's been a relevant factor.
The only impartial eyewitness to that event. So yeah.
Impartial, like who's giving him the tummy rubs? Who was giving him the tummy
Kenny
rubs?
protected him. That's what Scott about was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kenny was out of the way.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, so let's just react. Anything else like major from Survivor Series? Like obviously the EO spot, the bin. Have you seen the reverse angle where everyone just gets ready to catch her? It's unfortunate.
Contrived all hell, but
yeah, it's unfortunate, but I said like before Survivor Series that at some point something like that could go wrong. So at least they made sure she was safe to do that.
And EO still made that spot like it was an elevation of what she's done previously by adding the flip. Like that genuinely like made my jaw drop, even though you knew it was coming when they came out with the branded bin, which I said to my wife, that is literally just so they can sell a toy of EO and a branded bin. Like that's the only reason.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was good. I wish they hadn't done the whole Royal Rumble style entrances. I wish they'd have kept the shark cages because that's such a layer of intrigue. Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
But you know why that probably is? It's probably because Brock
Lesnar doesn't want to hang around
in a shark cage for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a fair shout. Yeah.
And get the pop with the music. That was the bit that annoyed me a little bit. Is that headline I think I read the other day from something where Jey Uso apparently saying, "I'm sick of being an entrance.
I'm more than just an entrance."
During the War Games?
Middle of War Games. This blood feud.
He is just an entrance, though. Really, he is just an entrance. Like the crazy thing is, like for him being main event Jey Uso, you have to go back to the pandemic. And was this when like Jimmy Uso was like in trouble with the law and stuff like this? They did the story with him and Roman, and obviously they'd got like. They weren't in front of audiences, and it's like, oh, Jey Uso's getting a shot against Roman at the time, or he's being factored up. And to me, he is not a main eventer. I think if you have to name someone main event, they are not a main event. And he's unfortunately in the last few months had a significant amount of like botched moments, which I think, to be fair, have been overemphasized compared to other
He's
people.
under a huge spotlight.
He's
for that
under
kind of
a huge amount of scrutiny for stuff. But they're also there. So he was, even against LA Knight, there was things being screwed up.
The most bizarre thing I thought about the whole LA Knight match was it was just one spot in particular, and I'm trying not to be too cynical with Jey Uso because like I'm not a big fan of his, but it was the superplex spot. I don't know if you remember the bit that I'm talking about where LA Knight superplexes him off the top rope, and Jey throws himself to the side, slams the mat twice in like frustration or whatever, but like no selling of the move at all, which no selling in certain contexts is fine, but he slams the mat twice and then lays down for a 2 count, and it's like, well, are you okay or are you not? Like, because if you're okay enough to roll and punch the mat, I'm angry because I'm going to be a heel soon, and punch the mat, and then I better lay down for the 2 count.
I tell you what, wouldn't it have been funny if LA Knight got up and just kicked him in the head like Punk did?
Yeah.
Just been like, I'm done with you.
There were 2 things that crossed my mind when I watched that clip. I don't watch Raw in full, but I watched like bits and pieces here and there. I did see this clip come up, and there's 2 things that I thought might have happened. One, he's either doing a really bad job of selling, as you say, a potential heel turn in the future, and this whole thing afterwards where he's throwing the set around and knocking the Prime stuff over and all that sort of stuff. So he's either trying to doing that, thinking that's a good way of getting that, of being subtle about it, or he genuinely either got hurt on the superplex and came down, possibly because maybe he wasn't quite ready. Because when Knight goes up for it, he really brings him over, and Jay's not quite got his footing there, quite ready. So he's brought over before he's properly like getting ready to take the move, possibly.
I could see that. Yeah.
Either way, it was really stupid to have done that, because that reminded me of when Randy Orton got injured by Ken Kennedy years ago. Remember that whole thing? Often he slams the mat. But the other thing I was going to mention about Raw and about generally sort of like the importance of where everything is in terms of Jey Uso and his deterioration, because I've been noticing it again, thinking some stuff is a bit overdone. People saying that movie did on Miz where he dropped down on the ropes of the buckle. People thinking, he's going for a Samoan drop and he fucked it up. Is it? No, he wasn't. He was going for a move where he drops him on the top rope, and Miz probably didn't know what exactly he was going for, didn't know how to take it. But I'll tell you what, Jay's got to get rid of using the spear.
Oh my God!
That match, he looked at him spear him. He didn't even go off his feet. He just
it was like a standing headbutt, wasn't it?
It's like,
how many people like have used the spear who, like, I'll be honest, guys, and this is going to be controversial. I was never convinced that someone like Edge should use the spear, because obviously
Edge wasn't great.
Well, no, it's just like it's the size of the guy. Edge is tall. He's he's deceptively big, but he's like this lanky guy, and it's like, wait, this is a move by Goldberg, and like Rhino had got the gore, and it's just, it looks like it should be a move done by people who are tanks.
I think less than the tank thing for me, it's the speed thing, and I think that's why bronze works well. It's about that.
Well,
and
yeah,
I think
bronze may be the best, but go on, Dev.
Edge needed a heelish, speedy, fast finisher that he could like pop up and run. You could literally like come in, spear someone, and get the fuck out of there. Like the RKO, RKO someone and disappear.
Yeah,
he needed that like runaway, literal runaway finisher, and anything else he was doing was too slow.
Like we talked about with the whole joking about Bronson Reed taking that flip into the Styles Clash, because you can't do that move on anyone. I think I read, it might have even been an interview with Edge where he said the best finishing moves it should be something that you could hit on anyone, and that's why the RKO is so popular as a finishing move, because you can hit it on anyone and you can hit it out of nowhere, to use the phrasing. But yeah, I definitely agree that Edge, and I was a massive Edge fan back in his prime, and I never thought his spear was particularly impactful, but he went through a phase, didn't he, of trying several different finishers. the educator, and then a weird like.
But yeah, that was the figure of four
the
headlock, I'm
edge-o-matic.
sure.
The edge-o-matic has just come to me.
Okay.
That was a weak ass.
The
move as
downward
well.
spiral was his first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The flatliner. Which never,
The
never
Impaler
looked great.
DDT I think he sort of borrowed that from Gangrel back in the
Mm.
Brood days, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably where he should have.
Okay, you bring up an interesting thought though. So what is there a move that is universally this is good or it's bad because you can do it on everyone, or is there a move where it's like, well, it's not their fault that they couldn't do it on Yokozuna? Because do you remember even Bret Hart trying to put the sharpshooter on Yokozuna? It's like, well, his legs are the size of tree trunks.
Trees.
It's like, in theory, you can put this move on anyone, but some people are built differently, and it's not possible.
He just did it in a different way getting into it, didn't he? It was just like, he was on his back and just pulled his legs up over the things. So he did actually know how to do it. But
yeah,
I think it's universally acknowledged that the stunner is the best finisher just because Stone Cold could do it on anybody.
Yeah, in that sense.
He could do it on Gangrel, or he could do it on Big Show.
Okay, there is the similarity between the stunner and the RKO. So it might be that sort of grab the neck, drop down kind of finisher does work. Go on, Dev.
Annoyingly enough, and I wish it wasn't, the super kick.
Super kick, yeah, you can do on anyone. I mean, Hogan's leg drop you can do on anyone as well. I guess if I just take that for a brief segue there, did you hear that? So obviously Hogan blamed a lot of his later health problems on that he'd got back problems from doing the leg drop. Over the last week, Ric Flair came out saying that what killed Hulk Hogan was street drugs, that the doctors wouldn't give him medication anymore. And so then he had street drugs. Now I think Hogan's wife has now come out and disputed that. But Flair said he spoke to Hogan the day before he died. So is this bullshit from Flair? Because Flair seemed to retract it.
Flair said a lot of things.
Flair, like Hogan, said a lot of things, I think.
Well, okay, so we were joking about this last week. I can't remember who I was saying with. Maybe you, Ian, about like in the app Hogan's past, but Bret Hart and maybe Flair now, they're just getting in and we'll say whatever kind of thing now. So, because obviously Bret's been on a hell of a run of shitting on Sheamus, obviously Goldberg all the time, the whole Vince and Shawn Michaels sleeping together thing.
He's had a quiet week as Bret. I haven't heard any new Bret news.
Another clip from that same show with Vince and Warrior, he's saying now.
What? I didn't hear that. No way. There's no way.
Same show. It's the same theory about Vince and Warrior. He thinks Vince was in love with Warrior. That's why he got pushed.
Well, okay, Vince may have been in love with Warrior, but I don't believe Warrior would have gone for Vince at all. But that's
just like turning into that stereotype of an older person getting older and thinking, sod everything, I'm just going to do what I want and say what I want and just get away with it. I think he's properly got the comedy chops now. He's decided, right, I need to take a new angle on this bitter past, my Montreal screwjob deal and all that sort of stuff. I need to put a different angle on it.
Yeah. A very different angle.
Montreal screwjob. Right, I like it. Dev.
I was going to say, I guess in Brett's mind, Brett's the only one who hasn't screwed Vince.
Well, yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly.
Yeah, Vince definitely said Brett screwed Brett.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but like, when Brett was saying, yeah, I was caught between two lovers. It's like, but in what way was he caught between them? In the logic that Vince could have just put the title on Shawn, and he wasn't really needed to be a factor in that.
The only reason I didn't want to drop the belt was for their stupid sex games. I'm keeping the belt away from that sordid thing.
Was it a case of Brett was the mayor and Vince was Montague and Shawn was Capulet?
Dev.
I hate this because Ian put an image in my head. It's William Regal, but instead of saying war games, he says sex games.
Sex games. Oh no!
Thank you for ruining William Regal for me.
Oh dear. Something I was going to say. I've seen the thing here. What do we think? Where do we think they're going with Bron Breakker? Bron is saying he's going for Punk's world title. So
it It's happening on the Netflix anniversary show, isn't it?
I would pull
Yeah.
the trigger
And
then.
break
I would put the title on Braun then.
Really?
I think,
Really?
yeah, talking about lightning in the bottle, that promo was outstanding.
Wouldn't
I
it
thought
be-
it was really,
What
really
about
great.
Braun winning the Royal Rumble though?
He doesn't need to.
I know he doesn't need to, but
The-
you could build him up to Mania like that.
So I think the problem with the Rumble now is that they've done this whole thing that everyone was paid off with at the end of Survivor Series with the stare down between Roman and Cody. So apparently they're going to do that for the third time in 4 WrestleManias.
Mhm.
So I think that's pretty much given away that Roman's winning the Rumble.
Yeah,
I
possibly.
think that's how they'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
There
There you go. Sorry,
Sorry,
go ahead.
David, go ahead.
You go.
I was just going to say, certainly for the Saudi crowd who seem to be, to generalize, sorry, but they seem to be more minded to cheer those who they should be cheering.
Yeah.
And so Roman is the biggest star that would get the biggest pop from that very WWE friendly crowd, I guess. And I'm just thinking back to like 6 months ago when I was thinking, okay, yeah, they can heat Sami Zayn up for the Rumble in Saudi, but my God, it would take a miracle at this point because they've cooled him off so much.
Is that because they want him for WrestleMania the following year and they're just saying, oh, it's not your year? Or
Maybe, but it just seems like he's been a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah.
They gave him the US title and the open challenge, which is still going great guns. But then you look at what they did to him for the Survivor Series build, and
well, yeah.
gave him a complete nonsense team, and then didn't even put them on the bloody show.
I'll be honest. I've said this before. I'm kind of done on Sami Zayn. I don't want. He can win a world title somewhere. I don't want him to win a world title at WrestleMania. I'm not that interested in that anymore. I think his character when he was part of the Bloodline and the dynamic there was so much fun. But as soon as they turned him on Roman, I went so low down on him. The main event of WrestleMania in the tag match, I accepted that. I was like, this is great. He gets the WrestleMania main event. But by his fault or by the fault of his booking and his character, I haven't cared about his character since then, basically.
Right.
So, and that's been the whole story of Sami Zayn's career from my perspective. As at times I think, yeah, this guy's really cool. I really like him. I kind of on his side. And then it's like, if he tweaks his character, he kind of falls off for me literally for a couple of years at a time. And he's in that pit at the moment. Dev.
The annoying thing about Sami Zayn is everything he does, it seems like somebody else did the exact same thing but better.
Such as?
Like when he was like against the, he was like, I hate the crowd, I hate everyone, you're all losers, etc., etc. Daniel Bryan did a very similar thing, and he did it better.
I mean, yeah, you know, he's he had his conspiracy theory kind of gimmick, and he had he had his comedic times and stuff like that. But he was also doing crappy matches with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. It's like
Even the
I thought that was a
Bloodline
great
thing.
match.
Against that match of Johnny
That was a
Knoxville.
great
That was one of the best matches of the year.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, sorry, Dave.
Right.
like he was part of the things he did with the Bloodline. I believe that R-Truth did it better with Judgment Day.
Oh, I think that
Wow.
was I think that for me that was peak Sami Zayn. Like, yeah, like it was interesting that because it was a similar time frame, or with Judgment Day, like it may have run like slightly later with Truth, but I just think like the dynamic where you got everyone had got a different relationship with Sami Zayn in the Bloodline. So like Roman sort of like he likes to keep him around, Jimmy like loving him, Jay hating him. It was great, you know. There was that was great, but when you took him out of that, that was kind of where the Bloodline began to unravel somewhat, and it's been kind of floating in meaningless since because
It's weird.
Oh, sorry, I was
that
going to say, other than Solo,
sorry.
they're now all on the same page, except for they keep just not making them work together, why wouldn't they? And except for when they then make Jey Uso not help Jimmy and stuff like this, they've got no idea what they're doing with that faction. Sorry, Deb. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
For me, the peak of Sami Zayn was always whenever Kevin Owens was involved. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn together are amazing. But like, take away Kevin Owens, like done. Like, there's nothing.
Do we know what the status of Kevin Owens is? Because it's so quiet, it makes me worry that either it's just he's not going to make a return, or they're purposely keeping it quiet because they're planning something.
He posted a sort of a very, very, very short clip of him training, I think at the PC. But it was like, I think he was just running. It wasn't like in the ring bumping or anything. And I think his music was playing either under it or just at the end of it. That's the last I heard, and that was maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Okay.
So I think the signs are promising, at least, that he's working towards a return. But I'd be surprised if it was this side of WrestleMania.
I'd like that to be kept as quiet a secret as possible, so that if and when he does come back, it is a big massive surprise. Because that's the problem with a lot of wrestling things now. We don't win hardly ever surprised.
Sure.
We all read about the rumors that Liv was returning when she didn't. It wasn't a massive surprise that she did.
Okay, let me pitch something to you, and I don't know how far away a potential Kevin Owens return could be. So imagine it's the Royal Rumble, and it's number one. Who draws number one? Are you imagining, Dave? Is that what's going on here? Okay. And so
he's in Saudi right now. You can see that.
You'll know where I'm going with this, because I think it has to be in this order. The thing that everyone sees coming is that Jericho returns, and he's number one. Imagine if number two was then Kevin Owens.
Be a nice callback to their.
That would be. I think that would be really fun to do. You know, that would give them something instantly to work with, and they'd be like, "Hey, we're friends," and then obviously they'd fight, and go on, Dev.
I'd be against it because it would be the same situation as Randy Orton and CM Punk, where Randy Orton returned and then CM Punk overshadowed him.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah. Dave.
So I was going to caveat that. If we are going to do that, other way around.
Why the other way around? I thought it needed to be... Why the other way around?
Because Jericho's return would be the bigger surprise.
Would it? Because I think everyone's expecting that now.
I think Jericho especially. Well, it depends on whether they're going to let him use Judas, which I don't expect they would.
I think they will. Look at Cody.
But I think what they'll keep with Jericho is the countdown, and that countdown is a pop machine. To be fair to KO as well, like he's out of the current crop of themes in this Death Rebel Drek era. KO's theme is a monster pop. Just hearing that guitar riff for the first time in a year or more will create the pop. Yeah. Okay,
so I've even got a headline here, which is, I think, from today, saying about Jericho's WWE timeline discussed. Now, obviously, it's just a clickbaity thing, but if this is on like news websites, I think people are expecting Jericho to be back. But yeah, the unfortunate story of Kevin Owens is that he's always the bridesmaid and never the bride. He is the king of night one main events at WrestleMania. He's the king of getting bumped out of world title spots and world title matches at WrestleMania. So it would almost be poetic that his return is immediately overshadowed by another return. But go on, Ian.
Well, just to speak to your point about like people are expecting it, I think to a degree they are, but I think the degree to which people are expecting it is like us on the internet are expecting it, and then what percentage of WWE's in the arena crowd are like us in terms of being as engaged as we are with the daily ins and outs of the backstage politics. I think we're probably still very much in the minority. Like.
Do you think that there'll definitely be people that if Jericho returns, they'll be like, oh wow, where's he been for the last 6 years?
Right, well, because that's how they'll play it. Yeah. Like Rusev saying, I was in the abyss for like whatever.
Yeah. Dev.
I was a kid back when Jericho, because I started watching WrestleMania 22. So I was like a kid during before Jericho returned for the first time.
All right, young one.
I was going to say, you just made me feel really old there.
Okay, so my first
You're fine, boy.
WrestleMania was WrestleMania 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've made me feel really young, David.
Yeah,
Thanks.
there you go. And I only missed WrestleMania 7 because we didn't have like the TV at the time. Were you 7? You 7. So like I was into wrestling, but the first one where I could see it was WrestleMania 8. And when I say see it, like my aunt recorded it because she had Sky TV.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
But yeah. Sorry, who was saying what? Go ahead.
I was saying I was watching because everybody was waiting for Jericho's first return with the break the code and the promos they had, and like everybody I don't know if they're gonna do something similar this time, or is he just gonna come back randomly?
I think they should do teases. They love their teases nowadays. You know, there was something on NXT where people were saying about some video in the background, but I didn't understand what it was hinting at one bit. I had no theories.
I think it was suddenly like a video of a bridge suddenly appeared at the background during the Ricky Saints over Femi contract signing thing.
Right.
I think people are saying it's just going to be a return of Tony D'Angelo, the mafia character.
Yeah.
Last scene was throwing something off a bridge or something like that. I don't know.
But they did a Sopranos style ending with Tony D'Angelo, didn't they? Where up and saw someone. But, to go back to Jericho, like if it was me and I was if Jericho's got some kind of say, I think the best thing he could do would be to just start releasing teasers of shoes walking along like they did with the Mania and get everyone wound up again about what the hell's this going to be, and then it actually is a big deal. These feet walking along.
Dev.
It's funny that you say that because the 2007 return was literally started with someone walking into the arena. They only show his shoes for the entire time, and then slowly they panned up, and he did the T-pose.
That's right. And wasn't it a torch bearer? Wasn't someone carrying a torch?
And then
right. Someone was just running with a torch the whole show, wasn't it? It just came out nowhere. So I don't think there's any piece of shoes.
I can't remember what the relevance of the torch was. Can you?
I think
anyone?
Vince McMahon just got an idea.
I remember what it was because they were setting up a feud with Randy Orton, and Randy Orton had said he'd beaten everybody, so it was time for the torch to be passed to him. So
it was a literal
with the torch to pass to him. But Jericho cut the guy off at the last minute. To do the
2008 WWE.
Okay, here's something I've just spotted. John Cena has revealed that WWE wanted Saturday night's main event to be a full 2-hour tribute to him, but he pushed for the spotlight to go to NXT and minor league talents. That's funny. Minor league talents as his way of giving back. And apparently, I read it somewhere else a minute ago. His retirement match is going to open the show.
I read that too, but then I've also read underneath the comments underneath that also no, he did not say that.
Oh, okay.
I think he said that he might have done in a some context, but that in all likelihood he'll end this one.
You've got to get the last half hour to the show to him. Sure.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just they need to learn from the Goldberg thing that they can't risk that. They need to have prepared if this overruns, it overruns. Because that would just be appalling if it just cuts out as soon as he's in the ring. He's just been pinned by Gunther, right?
All right, anyway.
Can we talk about Gunther and Solo?
Yeah,
Gunther and Solo's match on Raw.
Yeah,
I thought that was outstanding. And I know I'm the high guy on Gunther, I think, on this show.
Oh, I'm high on him. I'm high on him.
Yeah, but a Solo as well. I thought Solo did a wonderful job. And yeah, the top 3 matches in this otherwise really drab crap tournament, let's be honest, have been Gunther and Solo, Gunther and Javon Evans, Gunther and Kamala Hayes. He's
that's because Gunther is that good. I still don't want him to have seen his last match. It's just I get it. He's that good. But this is the same logic is for all those years they could say, well, Cena's our top star, so we'll just put him there, or Triple H. So sometimes I want it to be dished around to someone else. I don't want Gunther's things just to be that he retires people. He retires AJ next year. He retires Randy Orton in a year or two later. But
Please
yeah.
add Lesnar to that list. But yeah,
And oh yeah, well okay, so that was the match that we didn't get when Lesnar suddenly was out of there. So they could circle back round to that, and that will be probably a really good match. But go on, Dave.
Dave had his hand up first. Go on.
No, go, Dave.
I was just saying that yes, I think you guys a few weeks ago were saying that you didn't know what Brock was going to be doing at Mania. 100%, it's got to be Gunter. But I think we've all been saying for absolute ages that Gunter was going to win the tournament and all that sort of stuff. But I know what, now that Knight sort of caught fire a little bit more recently, and with the sort of as messed up an ending as it was with the match with Jay on the other day with the really sloppy crucifix thing. I don't know. I think I could see more mileage out of LA Knight being the guy to beat Cena in his last one. Someone else was saying the other day on something else I was listening to, Gunter doesn't actually need it.
I agree.
He's already got this whole thing, and like you've been saying, David, you're not fond of him like retiring people all the time. So maybe they should just hold back on this one a little bit and say that, you know, because LA Knight could easily get a sort of like a quick fluke pin on Gunter, and they can revisit that down the line or something like that another time. But I think there might be more mileage out of LA Knight getting the last Cena match.
I'd be interested in it. And maybe they're setting up everyone to think, oh well, this is Gunther's thing now, so then it is LA Knight. Could be. Go on, Dev. What were you going to say?
What I was saying was, if they had Cena's match as the first match inside a main event, it would defeat the purpose of showcasing NXT talent, because everybody would leave the show after the Cena match.
Yeah, true.
Everyone switch off.
Certainly that TV rating would go through the floor, wouldn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so what do they do to make... Because I think this is an interesting idea, because I almost feel like, is there a politic at play here where Cena's just going to, like, just prove, like, saying, like, oh, it's going to be all NXT to showcase, where no one tunes in until it's, like, the last 40 minutes just to see Cena. And it'll be just, like, the ratings jump when the highest percentage jump in TV history.
I think the whole show will be sort of threaded with Cena clips. This long form interview that they're airing lots of clips with as well. I fully expect is it a 2-hour show? I think it usually is,
isn't it? Yeah.
I would expect the whole last hour to be his match with whoever, and then I wouldn't be surprised if it's so much the opposite of what happened to Goldberg. It's more like Ric Flair's retirement, where the whole roster is in the ring, and you maybe even get some returns that come out, and Undertaker will come out and get his bit of limelight so he can like pay respect.
Yeah. Choke slam. That would just be the strangest booking decision in history. Everyone comes out, Taker comes out, choke slams him, and then afterwards they just never mention it. Austin comes out, stuns him. Imagine he just takes everyone's finish. Right,
leaves his jorts and then leaves his jorts in the ring as a sort of
yes, and he takes them off.
Like the Academy Awards.
Okay, so sorry, I'll come to you in 1 second there, Dev. Just because I saw things on this earlier, but I didn't click on it. Will Vince be there?
Not on television.
Backstage.
Not on television. Backstage, yeah.
Trump is going to be there, apparently. Trump is going to be there.
Yeah.
Certainly heavily rumoured, isn't it?
Wow, okay.
And Trump and Triple H are...
so they're definitely going to have a heel section in the audience that night. Right, okay, Dev.
It's weird. It's like kind of poetic that Cena is having an NXT showcase, because back in the PS3 version of WWE 2K15, they couldn't put the career mode on there because it was only on the PS4 version. What they did instead was put a NXT vs Cena mode.
Oh.
Where you could pick an NXT superstar and try and beat Cena.
Wow.
Okay.
And he was just undefeatable in the game.
Yeah.
It's just like the Nexus SummerSlam match over and over and over and over and over again. Maybe that's the first hour of Saturday night's main event. Cena beats all of the old Nexus and then loses to Gunther or LA Knight.
Actually, that just gave me a good idea. So the way they could like keep people engaged during the show is that they could have Cena giving pep talks to various NXT wrestlers and giving them tips and talking like praising them or whatever.
Okay, so guys, we've got a few
This
minutes
also-
left, but I can't go too much beyond the hour. But I just wanted to bring up, so one of the interesting headlines in the last few days was TNA have now got a TV deal. And a significant TV deal
Big
by
TV
all
deal.
accounts. AMC, which was where The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad and things like this were on.
Yeah, big
And
channel.
their launch date is going to be in January, Thursday Night Impact, and it will be live. And so, and I assume live every week. Otherwise, well, it doesn't have to be, but I guess to be competitive in this day and age, they kind of need it to be.
They do
I
live
think
episodes every now and then nowadays, but they pre-record like 3 episodes, I think, a night.
Yeah.
Even.
So it'll
I
be
think
interesting to
AMC
see if that continues. And I read a list of things about, the roster's going to really change, and I just feel like this is deja vu of TNA when they brought in Hogan and it was going to be on Monday nights. And, from the week before that, and everything is just AJ, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, and all of these TNA originals to 2 weeks later it was the Nasty Boys and Val Venus and just all of these people that hadn't been on the roster suddenly just using up like half the TV time. Like even like with the good additions when they brought like back Jeff Hardy as a surprise and that. I'm just thinking that TNA probably are gonna aim to have a debut or two of Reckon, because when you see the advert for it, the Hardys are over that thing constantly. They have even a brief like Nick Nemeth thing. They just plastered it with many recognizable faces.
Well, you look at AEW's launch, and who was at the forefront of that? It was Jericho, because lapsed fans don't know who the current stars are. They'll be like, "Oh, the Hardy Boys, I remember."
Yeah, but
them."
if they watched AEW, they know who Mike Santana is. Right. Dev, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just realized something. Three of the 4 major TNA originals are now champions, like right now. Samoa Joe, Frankie Kazarian, and AJ.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, like Kazarian is the world champion. He's losing that before they debut on AMC.
Oh, I don't think he is. I think he's keeping it for a while.
I don't think he can. I don't think he's got the name value to keep it. I think.
Do you think?
I think Matt
People who
Hardy's going
remember
to get them.
TNA, people who like go TNA. Oh, TNA's back. I remember then. They'll go back and go. Oh, that's that.
Kazarian.
Kazarian's back.
guy
They
used
were
to run
right.
around
He
and-
is the future. He's 2026 apparently.
No, he's not the future anymore. He's now.
Yeah.
If the relationship with WWE and TNA is continuing, which by all accounts it seems to be,
Yeah.
I think it's tailor made for AJ Styles to go back and maybe be on the debut episode on AMC.
Yeah.
If not challenge for the title. I don't know how long AJ's got in him before he retires, but I think it would mean something to him to be able to go back to TNA, whom he left under a bit of a cloud because of the ownership that was in place at the time.
Yeah.
Now the
I
landscape
mean,
is
he had
different.
an
Yes,
appearance 2 or 3 months ago, but it was literally just a meaningless appearance where he just came out on like a promo or whatever. Didn't do anything meaningful. Just like, oh, you X Division guys,
No, I don't know about that. I thought it was quite. I thought what they did was more meaningful than what they originally had planned. I can't remember what
Well,
it was.
they originally planned to have him in the ring with Kazarian. And
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, and they didn't do it because they didn't want it to give the expectation of a match.
But then he went out there and put over the new X Division champion, and it was much better, I think, than they could have anticipated. But each their own.
Yeah, sure. Anything else, anyone, before we take this?
Yeah, I've seen a headline come up. So AEW doing their Dynamite and Collision in Britain next week. They're doing their Collision in Cardiff, and just announced that they've got a little bit of a working deal with Rev Pro, who we saw a clip from earlier with the Leon Cage spot. They just announced on their Cardiff show on Sunday, the 14th of December, which they've got a big Cardiff show coming up. And they're going to have so their women's champion is Mercedes Moné, and she's going to be on the show defending against Rio, who is a very, very, very good wrestler herself. That's going to be a fucking great match.
Wow.
Yeah, so Mercedes finally doing another British indie appearance. defending one of her 12 titles, is it?
I think she's up to 13, but it might
13
be
now.
14. But
belts. I think technically it's her 12 titles.
okay. Just very quickly, what's WWE doing with calling Rio and Rio on TV? I was like, it's like go Rio. It's like wait, Rio's turning up, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's
Dev.
2 other Rios there.
I was gonna say, does AEW have both Rios now?
Oh yeah, that's the point. Yeah, I was gonna say when I say defending against Rio, I don't mean the Rio from AEW. I'm talking about the British wrestler Rio.
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, I assumed that's what you meant.
Yeah,
No, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, there's another one over here.
Oh wow! And how's that Rio spelled?
RHIO.
Okay, fair enough. Right, I'm just going to very quickly check for headlines, but we can bring this one to a close shortly. I'm not swaying anything major coming up, but yeah, let's find out where we can find everyone on social media. Ian.
You can find me right here next time.
Awesome. Dev.
You can find me on TikTok and Twitch on the name FWDAT.
Amazing. Dave. Go on, Dev.
Apparently, there's breaking news
Ooh.
that Cena's being advertised for Raw after retiring.
Is it the
Maybe
Raw
it's
after
doing-
WrestleMania?
Maybe he's doing the thing you mentioned earlier about the Ric Flair retirement style thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So much for Cena's last Raw, and you won't see me anymore, and all that. It backtracks. This has to be the quickest backtrack.
It's for the Raw after WrestleMania, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Raw after John Cena's being advertised for. Okay, so Hall of Fame.
Well, he's going into the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Fame,
Like
yeah.
he'll be the headliner this year, and then maybe do something on Raw, and then it will say on the back of his T-shirt after this, and I really mean it this time. You won't see me.
Yeah. Okay, Dave.
David Jervis Green online on socials. And one other little news bit, very, very quickly, I did see this, made me quite laugh. Interview with Paul White, big show, about various things such as his training for his in-ring comeback and things like that. And he says the one person that could really help AEW right now, and if they hired him, it could be really, really great, and it would make a huge difference if they hired Baron Corbin.
Oh no.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. For me, my name's David Pistansky. You find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Pistansky. Follow everything Slam Jam, wrestling show related. And with that, until next time, stay safe. Always stay extreme. Keep slamming and jamming your Slam Jam bronies. And boom, we are off.